This is America here, baby. This is great. I love it. Here we go, baby. I'm going to help you be successful. That's my job. Believe it. I've been doing this 27 years. That's a fact. Disney ESPN ain't going to help you because none of them know the right side. Trust me, they know nothing. Let's kick their ass. They don't know the damn thing about handicap. And I'm coming after you, Disney. I'm the guru. I am Sportsguru.vegas. That name was earned by picking winners. That's how it works. Make no mistake, I'm here to win. That's right. Absolutely. Good afternoon, gurus. And we are here to win. Sports Guru Vegas live coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada, the greatest city in the world. And getting closer to that Super Bowl, gurus. For me, it'll be, I grew up in California, so we had the Coliseum, hosted a couple of them. So I never went to one, actually. I could have went to, one of them there in Arizona, obviously. Could have went. I just have, this time of the year has always been a busy time of the year. There's usually a lot of college basketball going, and with the Super Bowl, the tickets are way overpriced anyway. So I don't usually participate in that, but it's the greatest spectacle, right? It's basically our basic anthem for sports. So it's everything, and the fact that Vegas got it so soon is pretty exceptional. And that tells you, we already had the infrastructure in place here for an event like that. So, when we brought the Raiders here, it was natural that was going to happen. And it's awesome to be in a near, keep in mind Allegiant Stadium is only about 20 minutes from my home. So, and it's a beautiful stadium. So, everything's ready. And you know what I'm going to do today is we didn't have I told you we may not have a round robin today, gurus, and we don't, but I do have a bet and I'm going to share it. But I went ahead, I talked with Mark and I went in and put it with the games tomorrow that I like in the NFL because we're going to have a lot of basketball games tomorrow, you guys. On Saturday is a big day for college hoops. So there's going to be plenty of games to bet tomorrow. That's not going to be an issue, gurus. But the NFL is huge, right? We love the NFL. The beauty about my show next year is we're going to have all NFL. We're going to get the whole season. I'm looking forward to that. I really wanted to have this show done by the football season this year. I really did, gurus. And you can tell that's how devastating this long haul and this virus is that, your plans always get altered. But because the Super Bowl's here this year, I made a decision in week 9. I told David from Main Stage Pro, they had produced the show and helped me get it started, do the videos for the show. And I'll actually put them up real quick. This is the company I work with. And they do consulting for me now. I can run the show basically. Once in a while, I have a technical issue. And so I have to call them, but he's been there to help me, David and Chase. So anyway, I told David, I said, I've got to do this by week 11. We have to be out. That gives me as much of the season as possible. And that's what we did. And it's been challenging in some respects, but I knew that was going to happen. I've been in business my whole life, gurus, and this is no different. Anyone can be in business. The question is, are you going to be successful in business? And to be successful in business, you have to have, resources to invest so you can get a situation where you can be in a solvent position. It takes time to build a business. But I was at a stage in my life where I have that time now. And that's why I'm comfortable. I can be with you guys indefinitely. And that makes me feel good. This show is something I think that we need. We're talking about $100 billion industry right now. Um, there, everyone has a device. In fact, mine's over there. I'll get it if I need it. Everyone has a device, right? Everyone who's betting in states where it's legal uses their device. Most people do. So what we have here is I had an opportunity to do this show so that people can just go on their phone and find out who I'm picking today. That's really as simple as it is. But I could have just done something like that on the short videos. But I think the show is even more important nowadays. First of all, there's unless you go into other podcasts who have who do this as a profession, meaning they've been analyzing or betting sports for a long time, and they have the experience to help people. There are a few people out there. I don't know of them that are doing shows, gurus. Maybe you can chime in. Let me see. We already have a chat. That's probably from Mark. Yeah, here. All weekend in game and player props. Right. So he's starting to get into player props a little bit, Mark. And I talked to him about that. But yeah, it's our biggest weekend. Again, it's kind of like a farewell to the NFL, right? The season's drawing near the end. So but yeah, there are other people who've been doing this, like Guru. Not many, but there are, and they're out there. Some of them will release their picks to you. And again, you're here. This is a free country. Obviously, we're all in competition to reach people and help them. Right. At this point, my picks are free. I don't know what they're doing with theirs, but I can tell you in my experience doing this, as long as I have, they're not going to help you more than me. If you're paying them, you don't need to right now. Now, if you're winning and they're getting so the way I used to do it is my customers would pay me only if they won. They'd have to we'd settle. Have to be a profit for there to share, and I would get a percentage of that. I've always done it that way. I've never got paid. There were some people I put on monthly plans and yearly plans. There were occasions that would happen, but there was still accountability the whole way. I set it up so they could get out of a plan if they weren't happy with what they were doing. I would set that up personally with them. So I've always had to win to keep and get clients. That's always been something I've had to do. It's been tougher lately because keep in mind, 2020 started the pandemic. We all know what happened there. They canceled the games. I actually had a show. Welcome to my new viewers, by the way, TikTok, X, and Twitter X. And I started promoting it yesterday, the show on there on one of the videos. So I'm going to start doing that now, and hopefully that'll bring more traffic to the show. Um, but anyway, yeah. So I've always had to earn my either audience, or in this case, I had to earn the clients I've kept in the past. And again, it got more difficult. We're talking about everything changed drastically. The NFL didn't have any fans in 2020. So yeah, it was difficult. Everything changed, and it's just hard to. And in some cases, maybe some people did better. I don't know. I'm telling you, I did. I certainly didn't. Everything was completely. So I had to readjust, and then I had to readjust again. But now we're comfortable. We did make a good profit for the NFL for this year, Mark and I. We did, and it was. I can tell you, gurus, it's hard to win for a season in the NFL. We did. By the time I was sharing picks on this show, it was mixed. We had the last 2 weeks, which is always difficult, and we had some winning weeks and some losing weeks, but we not nothing bad. We always competed, go 2-1 on a round robin that had some money line juice in it, and you lose half of your investment there to a third. But we always would battle, always are bad. Look at yesterday. Yesterday we released two round robins, and we went 2-1 on each, and we were there to cover. We were in position at halftime. Pepperdine was tied. Obviously, they got blown out in the second half. We watched that last night. That was just a complete. It looked like Gonzaga went in the locker room, and the coach said, "It's time to win. Let's get going now." And that can happen, gurus. So they got blown out. The first half would have been better, right? But the other games did saw the college basketball. For the most, I think we went 2-1 in that. We hit our hockey gurus. That's a good thing because we told you we're going to be patient. We're going to wait for better positions, and we did, and we hit it right when we needed it, right. And if Utah hits that basket at the end of the game, we cover. That's how close it was. So to hitting the whole round robin. And in the other game, we went 2-1. That was all college. So college went 3-1 yesterday. So that's a good sign. That means we bounced back from what happened Monday, Tuesday. I told you we have to do that. I wanted to hit a ticket badly. We almost came close, but we got enough games coming Saturday where I believe we'll have a good weekend. And I told you, gurus, yesterday, start from now through Saturday. I can go through Sunday, and that's our target to make a profit. We didn't have much today on the board. There wasn't a lot. There were games to look at. I don't like any of them. So, if it wasn't for the NFL tomorrow, I wouldn't have done a show today. That's how there just isn't much out there. But I'll put out there what I have. I'm doing this, and the Blazers we're going to bet. Indiana played last night, so hopefully we'll catch them a little tired. You can try and get 6 on that. That's what we recommend. And then I put both NFL games, and I didn't put the money line, but I'm gonna do a money line. I've actually already bet it, and it pays almost 2-1, gurus. It's it's the Ravens money line, Niners money line, and the Lions on the money line. If you money line those three together, it's like a round robin, you could argue, like a 3-team. You don't have to do that. And in this case, these are heavy favorites. A round robin and 2-1 would save you, but you're not going to make any money on a round robin with this type of juice. So what I did, and once in a while I'll do this, really only during the playoffs will I ever do this. And that's because this juice is high, but I would do it probably anyway if these are in the mid $2 range, but they're not, they're higher. But if you do parlay those 3 teams and 2 of them are here on the money line, the Lions, which I added on mine, and it pays almost 2-1. So 100 pays almost 200, gurus. I think that's reasonable. And we talked about that the other day, that the Ravens we had in week 1 against the Texans, and it was Stroud's first game. Nobody knew what he was going to do, or the coach Ryan for Houston. Nobody knew, and they didn't cover. But they hung around. They actually did hang around. But Stroud's first game was too much to overcome. And it's interesting, gurus. This line is about the same as what they made in week 1 of the NFL. Uh, excuse me, when they played the Ravens. We did win that game. We bet that game. That was part of we had a good weekend that weekend. We had them, and we also had Jacksonville. We hit our top 3 bets, and they all covered the spread as well. Do you remember the other one, Mark? It was Jacksonville, Ravens. It was Atlanta. It was someone that played Carolina, I believe. Was it Tampa week 1? Yeah, it was we had the Ravens. We had the Jaguars, and it was someone else. I forgot, but it was a sweep. We had a good day that day because I kingpinned Jacksonville and the Ravens. Who? It might have been the Falcons. It was the Falcons. It absolutely was. Thank you, Mark. So we kingpinned those two games, Jacksonville, the Ravens, to everything. And then we also had Atlanta twice. So we just destroyed. We had a very good week one. And that carried that momentum, carried us through till the show started. And we've chopped since then. It's hard to win all every week. We didn't win every week, but we won more weeks than we didn't. And I have that information if you want to email. But next year you're not going to miss anything. That's the beauty of it. We'll be here from week one on, and that's it. Everything will be there for you to see. But anyway, we like that situation. We're going to come back with it because they're on a short week. The Texans, they've played basically two playoff games in a row, one on the road, one at home. Now they go into probably a weather situation here. It looks like there's a storm coming through. It might be gone by Sunday. We'll have to check that. But it would help the Ravens if there was bad weather because the Texans are obviously a dome team and they're not used to playing in bad weather. And we saw what happened when Miami played in bad weather, and they were an experienced team. They played in Buffalo last year and lost. They knew what was coming. But this weather in Kansas City was off the rails. It was bad. I mean, but it was good for us. And we hit the ticket. So we're 3-1 in the postseason, Gurus, and that's good. Good start. We just had to get the college going. Now we're back on track. We have a lot of work we have to do, Mark and I, later today for the games tomorrow. We'll get that done for you guys. Get those games off to you on TikTok and the X.com Twitter. But here it is. The Blazers are tonight. And again, we like the NBA. We've held our own. It would have been nice if Utah could have finished that. We wanted to hit that mixed ticket. The Tampa Bay, the Lightning got there, and so did Bakersfield. They just killed Riverside. So we're back on track, Gurus. We'll be all right now. And then tomorrow we're just going to tie this in. And I kind of did this to lead into tomorrow anyway, Gurus, to the playoffs. I'm going to do a show on Sunday before the Sunday playoff games. That's the last show until the championship. We'll do a show maybe that day, probably will. And it's why wouldn't you? It's I will say this, Gurus, from a handicapping perspective, this is not good value, right? But we don't care because we're here to make money and have fun and participate in these games. So value wise, it's not it's as I would rate it below average to average, but these are teams that played last week, and they played at home the Texans, but they played the Colts the week before. That was a close game. That went to the wire. And those are two games in a row they had to get ready. There's a lot of preparation. And some people would say, well, Guru, there's momentum with the Texans, right? We've seen in the past some teams that win off wild card weekends gain momentum and beat the team off the bye, right? We've seen that. We're not going to see that most likely tomorrow. I don't see that, Gurus. You're talking about what I believe the two teams that are going to play in the playoffs. In the Super Bowl. And if you remember, Gurus, in week 16, we had the Ravens at San Francisco. And I released that on our show, and I released it to you guys. And they won outright, the Ravens. Okay, so we're talking about two exceptional teams here. And you don't usually beat an exceptional team your first time out, especially when you haven't had any rest. And we're looking at, in my opinion, the Super Bowl right here, the Niners and the Ravens. That's not like a hard thing to predict. They're both number one seeds at home. I'm not predicting anything. Most people aren't at this point, and I'm not trying to. But I am going to probably take the Ravens in that game. I just think that style bothers San Francisco. They're a ground and pound team with an exceptional quarterback that can actually run like the wind. He's like in a way, like a hybrid version of Michael Vick, if you will. And Vick had a strong arm, but he didn't ever ran, and Vick was extreme. They're very similar, huh, Mark? These two quarterbacks, they are. And Vic had his moments. He had his moments. I remember I had him in the playoffs at Green Bay, and it was a weather game, and he won outright. So, but this isn't the case. And as much as I love Stroud, he will be a Hall of Fame quarterback, in my opinion, if he doesn't get hurt. Um, I do believe that they'll lose this game. The points. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit that round robin. I'm going to call it, just bet that parlay um, to the Niners, Ravens, and Lions. And I didn't put that up because the Lions game's on Sunday, but I will release it probably tomorrow morning with the other games, just so everybody knows what we're doing here. But it's pretty basic. I'm taking San Francisco, the Ravens, and the Blazers today, and then I'll roll that into tomorrow. We'll see how the Blazers do. If the Blazers win, there'll be equity there to work with some other things. But I do want to congratulate both the Packers team and the Texans team for getting this far. And hats off to Ryan, the coach for the Texans, and was at LaFleur at Green Bay, taking a young team and getting them not just to the playoffs, but to win a round. Exceptional for both of these teams and coaches. But, there's a reason these spreads are this high. If they make them 10, then guys like me might think about going the other way even. Um, and that would be an option. Now, nine's really not much less. It's 9.5, actually. I put 9 because that's all I'm going to lay, or money line. But I just, we look, it's the playoffs. We always release playoff games. I always have. And that's what we're doing today. And that's what we're going with. And we'll see. It'll be fun. But I think the short week that both teams are on, the home teams being the most dominant this year in the NFL, the Niners, the Ravens have the best both sides of the ball. We're talking about really no flaws. If Jackson's on his game, forget it. And as long as Purdy doesn't make any mistakes, they're not going to lose. They have too many players. They have 5 different receivers they throw to. How do you defend that? And Purdy, he just kind of targets all of them. He doesn't have to do a lot. And then, it's not like the Packers have a defense that's going to, devour this team. That's not going to happen. Dallas is just complete garbage. We know that they're not reliable in the postseason. And historically, I saw that Green Bay's beaten them 6 times. They're 6-0 in Texas Stadium. I think about that, right? So that really wasn't a shocker. I thought they'd win. I didn't bet Dallas. I didn't do what I'm doing here. I didn't put them on here. But this is what's on the show. That means the Niners and Ravens, we're calling it. That's what we got. And again, I'm going to bet that money line with Detroit separately from this. So whatever happens to the Blazers tonight, I already have a parlay, and it pays almost 2-1, Gurus. So that's pretty decent for 3 money line home teams. The way this situation is, I believe also Detroit will beat Tampa Bay. They already did, and in Tampa. And I think Detroit, I like their coach. I think Detroit's, this is their season. They could be dangerous at San Francisco. We'll have that conversation next week. And I'm assuming that's what's going to happen, Gurus. If it changes, we'll change with it. But I don't see that. So we're going to play this today, Gurus. Tomorrow, I'm going to do the show. I'm not doing the show tomorrow, forgive me. But Sunday, we'll do the show about 9. There'll be a lot of college basketball tomorrow. I'll be sending that out on TikTok and X and Twitter X, those platforms. All the college will be on there for you to bet. Any NBA, any hockey, anything that I'm putting betting that would go on this show will be on those platforms for you. Set up an alert on X, please, so you get that alert when the video comes out, and you'll see what we're doing. It'll probably start at 9. Sometimes we had a 3-teamer last weekend at 8 o'clock in the morning, West Coast time. I sent out a little after 8. So you want to look for that. If you're just set up your notifications if you can, and I'll get those out to you, gurus. And pretty much the season will get pretty busy in college. As the season progresses, this is kind of the next phase we're hitting right now, because we're starting to get later in January. And as February hits, all these conference teams start playing. There'll be more history, more work for Guru, but there'll be more games, definitively good bets for us. And that means that's a good thing. So the work will have more value because we'll have more bets, more opportunities to make money. We have to win in college basketball. That's where the most of the very good bets are. And we're holding our own in the NBA. And I told you we would. And we had a good couple weeks, and now it's leveled off a little. And that's not unusual. I would have liked to have hit that Utah game. We were right in position to win that. So, but anyway, gurus, I want you to go ahead and play this. This is what I'm playing for today. And then I'll see how the Blazers do. If I need to add more money, perhaps I will. It all depends. And again, if the Blazers lose, I'll probably add something for you guys tomorrow on the X and the TikTok platform for you to bet, including these games. We'll just play it like that, gurus. Other than that, I'll see you guys on Sunday, and that'll be our last game with 2 games. That's going to be hard, right? We have the championship the following week, and then it's the Super Bowl. We take a break for the Super Bowl for 2 weeks, and then my city takes over and we host it, and I think we're going to do a fabulous job. We're the greatest entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas. If I was younger, I could enjoy it more. I haven't been to that sphere yet. I want to do that. I heard U2's really, really good in concert. I'd like to go to one of them. It's only a couple $100. That's worth it. I love that band. But there's a lot of things going on in the Strip besides the Super Bowl. It's a great, great, great place to be. I always get excited when I go. Even now, I've been here 25 years. So let's hit this. Let's hit this first leg. I know it's an unusual day, but I did tell you, gurus, I was going to do the show today. I didn't do it Monday, and I do want to talk about the NFL. It sets us up, and I keep this relationship going. It gives me a commitment to keep, and it helps me, gurus, too. And I know it helps you too. So 2-1 on both round robins. That means we're adjusting right back into where we need to be. I anticipate having a good day tomorrow. We need to, gurus. And some hockey now is in play for us. I think we'll start winning some hockey games when they come up. That's going to add to our profits. We need to make that happen for our hockey viewers out there, all the NHL bettors out there. We want their viewership as well. We have to earn it. So, but anyway, gurus, thanks for coming today. Tomorrow, look for the videos early. Set your notifications for college basketball and other NBA, hockey, NFL, and so look for these picks to come to you early. And then Sunday we'll probably do the show around 9 a.m. for the final 2 games. You already know I like Detroit, so that's pretty much a done deal. So we're gonna play them, and then we'll take a look at that Buffalo game. I still haven't come to a decision on that. That's a very close game. There's a lot of angles to that game, and I'm just waiting for some injury reports on Buffalo too. I want to see what's going on with them as well. So, and we'll get that information in the next couple of days, gurus. I usually don't release NFL until the day of the game anyway. I'm doing this today because these teams are on bye, so no one's going to get hurt, right? There's no short weeks where someone might. All the information's pretty is out there. It's clear. There could be late minute sickness, illness, virus. That's possible, as we know at this time of the where we're at in our country and time. But other than that, these are young men in their prime. They're going to play almost for sure, all of them. So let's look forward to that tomorrow, Gurus. It'll be a busy day for me getting these videos out to you guys so we can make some money and we can compete, right? We're here to compete. Guru does it the best, right? I'm going to be here the longest. I have the most to offer and I'm the most dependable. That's the way we're going to look at it. So, all right, Gurus, I'll see you guys Sunday morning around 9, God willing. Right? That's my objective. And I look forward to that, Gurus. I want to thank you guys for being here. Enjoy these games to this Blazer game tonight. We need to win the NFL. And then I'll see you guys on Sunday. Okay. Have a great day. Have a winning day. I love you guys. God bless. Take care.